looks like we're rolling. It looks like this could be a take. Okay, looks like they got the photography lights there, kind of making a shade of haze. So I'm going to turn the camera around a little bit. That's what I wanted to talk about. That's something I wanted to say. That I wouldn't be serious about all this stuff if I didn't have the light photography studio. And let me show you what this is, what these are. And there's 3 lights. I have the other one in the kitchen. I was going to change the bulb, but I found out it's one of those round neon fixtures, you know, and it clips out of the clip, but I don't know how to get the fixture out of there, so I'm glad I remembered that, because I got to call the maintenance guy to come up, and hopefully maybe they have a bulb too. But yeah, it kind of looks like it's still got the haze going on here. But I really like the Technicolor on these things. They're the energy saving type luminescent lighting. You know, and the other one I put a regular light bulb in it. You know, it just doesn't seem to have that vibrancy to it. And but that's what I wanted to talk about. Is that I wouldn't be serious about all this stuff. I was doing the videos. You know, take the time to do the artwork. You know, and see what I could do about putting them in an art show. And you know, and going down. Of course, I want to go to the party. You know, and everybody's going to be there. You got the bands and everything. You know, and I meet a lot of interesting people, and I really love it. You know, and there's a lot of old friends that, you know, I haven't seen since the, you know, the day. Let me put it that way. So I wanted to talk about this. This is what I really wanted to get into. I just went to go pick up my gear, and you know, they have the guitars in the windows and stuff. You know, I know you're gonna go, oh no, he's spending all this money. What's he doing that for? He's on the crossroads right now looking for some work. Well, I'm kind of hoping maybe I can get a little bit of something going on with this stuff too. So this wasn't very much. So I've seen these, and I'm going, oh, I can't. You know, I really love it. You know, oh man, you know, I mean, not now. I'll have to think about it and stuff. But the price was right. Okay, it didn't cost me very much. There was a lot less than all the other guitars over there, and he said he had this one in the window over the shop there for many years, and no one's came and got it. Now what this is a copy. And I had a guitar just like this one that I had built. I bought the body. It was a laminate, you know, a plywood. You know, and these are, you know, like inch and a half type laminated plywood. Now this isn't like a standard Fender. It's much thinner, and it's very, very light, and it's got a really good feel to it. And what I did, I bought the guitar body, and I took it to work at the wood shop, and I sanded down the top. You know, it was nice and flat. I had the knurl knobs on there, so, you know, I have knurl knobs that I put on my other guitar, so we can go ahead and put knurl knobs on these when I get around to it. You know, I don't need to really spend a lot of money now on accessories and stuff. He threw in the gig bag, and he was trying to find the back plate. You know, they're too wide. This is not a standard guitar. You know, it's not, you know, the Charvel products, you know, they have them at Guitar Center, you know, for the do-it-yourself jobs. And that's really what this is. This is a do-it-yourself job. The one I had, it was cracking a little bit, but they tell me they take like a hot air gun and melt the paint back down. But, you know, it has a few little minimal dings. You know, and I had my guitar around forever, and I was like, you know, I mean, I was trying to be careful with my belt buckle on the back. But he was going to put on the back plate. He was going to put on the whammy bar. You know, the whammy bar was just a little small. There's a couple different sizes. You got metric and standard. You know, so that's cool. That's no problem at all. But the gig bag, this was definitely added value. You didn't have to walk down the street down here with holding the guitar like this. You know, the effects pedals in the bag. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and change the strings. Okay. Now I've got a lot of guitar strings. I've got tons of guitar strings. These guitar strings I bought on Amazon. There's some sort of a I guess they were trying to get rid of them. I got Super Slinky. I think I'm going to put the Super Slinky on it. Now these will break, but they're really fun, right? So I got Super Slinky, but that's the same thing with these are. Well, these are a 9. These start at a 9 on the bottom E string. It's really, really light. Where these are a 10. Where these start really, really light on a 10. The electric lights and the Super Slinkies. When I was in high school, everybody had to have Ernie Ball Super Slinkies. So these are what you had to have. And not only that, but these were the cheap ones. You know what I mean? So, but you know, they do break, but you know, I'm not going to be using the whammy bar. On my other guitar, they had the bridge just like this one. The bridge was just like this one. I mean, you can see the back. But the whammy bar didn't work that well. The guitar strings got out of tune very, very easily. We tried to change the springs. The springs were too tight, and I couldn't even do the whammy bar. In fact, I was just thinking about that on my way over here, about that, how it was so tight we couldn't even do the whammy bar. So we changed the springs back till finally we just put on the springs, put the back cover on it. And I was just advised not to use the whammy bar. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'll get I guess the brand name is Floyd Rose, but it's a tremolo system where it locks down here on the top, you know, and it usually uses Allen wrench, Allen screws, and it bolts down over the strings, and it also has the same type of a clamp system over the bridge, so that the strings don't go out of tune when you use the whammy bar in a very, very extreme situations, like Eddie Van Halen has this type of a tremolo system. There's a few different manufacturers of it. I always call it a Floyd Rose. Everybody goes, no, don't put on a Floyd Rose, man. Well, it's a brand name. I don't want to say anything bad about Floyd Rose. I love them to death. But I'd say, let's just say, don't put on the tremolo system, the advanced tremolo system. This is a classic guitar, 1959 baby blue Fender Stratocaster. Now, baby blue must have been the color in 1959, and this is my favorite color, and it is the year I was born. In 1959, in fact, the rosary that my grandmother gave my mother when I was born was baby blue. So, you know, when you look at hot rods and go 1950s, you know, they show you this baby blue with the white paneled Chevys and, you know, all this cool stuff, you know. So that's usually what you see. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. I'm going to change the strings, and then I'm going to jam. All right, cool. I'm stoked, believe me. You know, you got it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and kind of like get a little bit of this on video. You know, kind of like working on it. I think I'm making a documentary. I think I'm going to like cut this stuff up, you know, run it through the editor. I clip the videos, put them together, kind of like, you know, show the highlights, you know, all the other stuff that I've got up there right now. It kind of looks kind of slow. I'm like trying to practice. I'm trying to figure out my tones. Now this is a 5-way switch because for the 3 pickups, I had the Floyd Rose tremolo system. That's what I wanted to finish. That I sent the guitar body over to my second cousin, Marilyn. She owned a music store at Northridge Mall. And she had the guitar body sent out over to the shop. She had a guy that did a paint job for it. And then I bought the hardware. And I bought a real Fender blonde neck. Now this doesn't have a fretboard on it. Usually it's like a mahogany or a rosewood. So, this is all shellac and it's nice and smooth and everything. Of course, I used to take it into the shop to have them do the fret jobs, clean it up, polish them. They did my intonations on my tuning. That's another thing that I want to talk about, is that the pickups that I had was the Floyd Rose, not the Floyd Rose, and now I'm talking about the tremolo system, was the Seymour Duncan pickups. Okay, so these are exactly like the Seymour Duncan pickups. These aren't exactly standard Fender gear. And it sounded really good. I got a lot of comments. That's the other thing I wanted to get to about this whole thing, is I got a lot of comments that it was good musicianship. That someone would say, "Wow, look at that guitar. It's a little thinner. I really like this part here. This part here where it's where you can see this here, where it comes down. I had sanded all that down on the guitar body. Can you see that shape? I mean, this shape is like awesome. I mean, I just loved it. This was my baby, right? You see that? You see how it gets a little thicker here now? Then you have the standard size here at the top. Of course, everybody knows your cutaways here. These are for your hands. Your hand can come all the way up there. It was a 21 fret Fender Strat neck. It was specifically Fender. It had a the Fender logo. It was a Fender neck. It had a thrust rod. This one also here has a thrust rod. So we're gonna go ahead. I just wanted to, work on this a little bit. Kind of get this kind of going. Having a cup of coffee. I love the Scissors of Mercy. The music in the background. I might sing along. Walk, walk, walk away. Walk away. Of course, you gotta have all the proper gear. So you want to make sure that you have some wire cutters, especially at the end when you put your guitar strings on there. They're going to be a little bit longer. And what we do if we don't have the wire cutters with us, and when we have to change our strings, like if we're out at a gig or something or on the road, you just kind of like roll it up, so they're not all sticking out, going to stick you in the eye or stick somebody else in the eye or something, So you kind of like roll them up, make sure they're safe and secure those. But yeah, you really want, in fact, I keep these in my gig bag. And an extra set of strings. In fact, that's what I want to talk about, the Super Slinky. These two sets here, apparently I had used, broke a string and grabbed some strings out of replacement, so I'm glad I had this other pack. So I've got 4 strings left in here. These are going to be good replacement strings. I got an E string, that's the one that breaks the most. You just got to watch the bending on the string. When you torque the E string, that's what breaks it. There's a specific way of bending, especially the E string, or bending your strings so that you don't go and break them. And they break really quick, especially when you're kind of doing this thing, all of a sudden, it just breaks. It causes the tension here at the bridge. And this is where it breaks here at the bridge when you do that. So there is a specific way of handling and bending your strings so that they don't break. But I do have another 9, so that's a new string. I do have another second string, got the 32, 5th string, and 6th string. So these are the 2 strings that really break the most. So we have that all together. So we got 9. So I have some replacement strings from this set. And that was the thing about these. Why they're the cheapies? Because they do, but they are fun. I mean, these are definitely what you had to have. I mean, you know what I mean? And they were the cheap ones. You know, I mean, I used to, you know, get fancy when I got a little more money, when I got paid, buy a really, really good set. You know, they used to have something called Fender Bullets. And I had to have Fender Bullets. I loved the esteem. I loved the way it made me feel. It didn't have the wire coil at the end like this. Can you see that? Okay, there we go. Didn't have a wire coil like this on the end. Okay, this is generally your general guitar string. What it had was, it was lead, and it was fashioned and molded with the string on the inside of the sled. That's why they're called bullets. And they did fit right into here, where you know, where your ends go. You know, it was the right size. They were Fender Bullets. They made them for their Fender guitars. You know, and they made me feel good. They were a good set of strings. They didn't break easy. I loved them. You know, so I don't see them around anymore. I don't know if I'd get another set, because, you know, I'm just kind of like doing all this other stuff, and just as long as you've got all these, you know, what do I need those for anyways? But, you know, I guess that's just the way I am. So, or what I prefer, you know, you do what you prefer, what you like to have, you know, what's gonna fit within your capital budget for all this stuff. You know, this is a whole bunch of throw around stuff, you know, until you get signed or something. You know, you start doing regular gigs and playing regular nightclubs, you know, practically every night. That's what me and my buddy Bruce were talking about. It's that nowadays, you know, every bar, especially on Friday and Saturday nights, you know, I had dancing and bands. You know, there isn't really that much call for bands anymore in the bars. There are quite a few bars still, you know, that have the bands and the live music and the dancing. You know, but most, you know, I love the jukebox, especially the ones they have nowadays. It's connected to a satellite. I can just type in anything I want, and by satellite it delivers my music if it's not already locally downloaded on the machine. Some of them are locally downloaded on the machine and you're limited, but it still has a lot of music on there. But I like to find the stuff like the Pandoras, the Runaways, the Cramps, you know. So I prefer the jukebox to have these satellites. You know, and the karaoke, and I love karaoke, you know, but there's just not that much call for, you know, bands in the local bars these days. You know, they're just not focusing on that like they used to. You know, when I was a kid, you know, even, you know, the party used to go, you know, the information about the party would start going around, like, you know, on Friday. You know, by the end of the week, we knew where the party was going to be. You know, and it's usually a house party. You know, no furniture in the house. They took it all out. Who knows where it went, because it wasn't in the backyard. There was a band in the garage, and that was filled with people. The front yard and backyard were filled with people. You know, the police come by with their helicopter, you know, maybe around 1 or 2 in the morning. You know, then they started busting them down, and the helicopters would show up a little earlier, more like 10:30. Basically, like right when you just got there, you know, usher everyone out. But this, I guess they were just trying to contain the situation. They're just trying to, you know, they shut down the cruising on Van Nuys Boulevard. You know, they put up all those barricades and start giving people tickets, and even on Hollywood Boulevard, you know, especially Hollywood Boulevard, there's too much traffic on there for cruising and stuff. But Van Nuys Boulevard was the spot. I went to Van Nuys High. I lived in Van Nuys. Just walk up to the boulevard. You know, there were all, you know, all my buddies' stuff. In the morning, that was the thing. You had to clean it all up. There's beer bottles and beer cans, you know, up and down the street. You know, but it was really flashy. You know, they wanted to make Van Nuys Boulevard as bright as Las Vegas, and they had all those bright lights that they had installed. And since they changed the street signs all used to have lights on them. Now they're hard to see. The signs are smaller, and they're hard to see. You know, they don't have the lights on them anymore. They changed those. So I guess maybe the energy crisis. Maybe we're under some sort of blackout, and, you know, to protect ourselves from the enemy. Who's the enemy? That's just a perspective of your own situation, where you happen to be and who you're against, or who it is who wants to come to let you know that there's a situation. I know that we're good people. We got good hearts and all that stuff, and we don't want to see that stuff. You know, but it's a fact of life. We'll get back.